Hello everyone, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Sorry for the delay on my end. I'm a couple minutes late. Let me tell you, I'm doing everything in my power not to get sick this season. A lot of people around me lately have been getting sick. I had a bit of a runny nose, so I had to clear that up before we get started. So that was my reason for being tardy. Now, with that being said, today's session is going to be discussing 2024 content planning, right? You and we're going to plan some content together for this YouTube channel so that I can best serve you. We're going to go over my services, right, that I provide off camera, right? And then go into the content, generally speaking, what we've been doing over the last 5, now going on 6 years. And I felt like what better way than to do a live stream with you all. You can comment below, those that missed the live stream and you catch the replay, you can comment below your thoughts, your feedback over the years, how it's benefited you, the content, and then you put your opinion. What would you like me to discuss more about or continue to do the same things, right? This is something that I've done privately in the past with clients and with my loyal subscribers on my email newsletter. But this is really one of the first times that I'm doing a live stream right before we start 2024 to say, look, here's what I'm thinking about doing. But since you are my loyal followers and subscribers that are attending the live stream and will comment below, you have really the biggest say here in terms of where you would like me to take this channel over the years. Because at the end of the day, this channel is not to serve me. This channel is to serve you. I am a servant leader operating this YouTube channel, and my purpose is to serve you at the highest level. How do I do that? I just got to ask you, right? So I want you to be very, very critical, honest feedback. Tell me exactly how you feel, right? In the comments right here, right now, as I'm going through my thoughts here on the whiteboard, right? So we're just going to dive right into it. We'll start with my pricing going into 2024 and some of the new things that I'm going to be rolling out that I think many of you will be excited about. So one of the new things that I'm going to be launching in 2024 is a financial foundation starter course. So this is not even doing velocity banking or infinite banking. This is like debt snowball, build an emergency fund. How do we generate more income, switch our job, career, strategies on making ourselves look more attractive in the marketplace, improving our resumes, right? The building blocks of financial stewardship, what that looks like. So I made it super inexpensive, $7 a month, right? It's going to be a course of pre-recorded content that's required to go through that. Once it's completed, it's not going to be a huge course, right? Once it's completed, then you're going to get invited to the Zoom meetings that I'm going to host, like either once or twice a month, right? And in those Zoom meetings, it's going to be specifically geared to only those that are enrolled in the financial foundation course. So there's not going to be multiple six-figure earners in there. There's not going to be high net worth people in there. It's going to be all predominantly low income, below average American income, salaries, households, people who are in crisis, people who are struggling financially, right? So I put a price on it because the reality is when you do things for free, the majority of people simply won't value it. But here's what I am going to do. Anyone that wants to join that program, Financial Foundation, and cannot find $7 a month, you're in a negative cash flow, there's no money whatsoever in your economy, you would just send me an email and say, hey, I would like to be a part of this course. And you would give me the details of your current situation. I'm in a negative cash flow situation. I have no savings. I have no money. I'm jobless. I'm this, I'm that, whatever it may be. And I will simply give you access to the course completely for free. But I still had to put a price on it anyways, right? So that is my thought process behind that. So that's going to be really, really cool. And on top of that, those that ask for free, I'm also creating a program. I'm just calling it the Help Now, Pay Later. And it's a bit of a play on the, what's that thing called? It just left my mind. Somebody help me. It's basically that thing that you do when you go into a store. You don't pay for the full product, right? And there's a word for it where it's like you pay over time. And then it also exists online where you can, buy a TV online or you buy a couch online and you pay later, right? So it's buy now, pay later. That's what it's called. So it's buy now, pay later. Well, I'm going to flip that as it relates to improving your personal finances instead of, hiring a financial coach or advisor or consultant where you typically have to buy now and then you get help. I'm flipping it in that industry, and also it's a play on the whole buy now, pay later economy, where we have so many people buying things they don't need, going into massive debt, trying to pay it later, and then getting hit with a massive amount of interest, right? Getting hit with a massive amount of interest, and now they're in this spiral because they don't know how to be good financial stewards. So this is going to be the Help Now, Pay Later program, which basically means like, hey, I would like to be a part of this program that you're doing, helping people build financial foundation. I don't have a financial foundation. I don't have any money. I'm completely broke. I'm negative cash flow. And then I'll be like, here's how I can help you, put you on a 90-day plan, 120-day plan, a 6-month, whatever the plan timeline is of help now, pay later. And really the pay later part, that I'm not holding you gunpoint, right? I'm not holding you at gunpoint. I'm not putting a hold on your credit card. I'm not collecting any of your credit card information. This is going to be solely on you and your personal integrity to pay me what I am worth or what you felt that service was worth when you are now in that better financial position. Totally up to you. So you could go through the program, get all this help, pay off your debt, increase your income, do all this stuff, and say, c'est la vie, right? Never talk to me again. And then we part ways and we never have to talk to each other. That's completely fine. I'm satisfied. I glorified the King in the process. So my rewards, my treasures are in heaven. I don't need to get paid here on earth. That's totally fine. I'm being provided by my King all day, all long, right? So, but that's going to be on your personal integrity to deal with that, okay? I'm saying I'm willing to help you now. You can pay later. You can get in that program for free if you cannot find $7 a month, okay? So that's the beginning of the things that I'm going to be rolling out in the new year. Then I have my flagship course that I've had over 1,000 plus people go through, which is the Velocity Banking Manifesto. And it is the most affordable velocity banking course, I would argue, in the marketplace that encompasses everything. So it's not a mini financial velocity banking course. It's not a starter velocity banking course. It encompasses everything from start to finish regarding velocity banking, and it applies to all incomes, right? So someone that's higher net worth could go through the program and get results. Someone that has low income can go through the program and get results. So that has been $50 a month this this year in 2023, and I've decided to just keep the pricing the same. So it'll still be $50 a month, or you could save, pay it for the year, $497. And when you pay $497, it comes with a 1-hour consultation with me valued at $300. Then there's the lifetime option of $997. That comes with 2 phone calls valued at $300 a session, lifetime access to Velocity Banking Manifesto. And there's a couple of other courses that I've created that you'll get lifetime access to. And then the new thing that I'll be rolling out in the new year, right, starting March 1st, okay, because typically what I do every year is I close out all of my programs for about 1 to 2 months. I've done as long as 3 months in the past, but now I have a better system in place. So from January 1st to February 29th, 2024, you won't be able to buy anything from me. That's in that season. I'm going to be serving all of my existing clients and new clients that just enrolled in the last couple of weeks, all the way up until December 31st at midnight. And my goal is to serve them at the highest capacity, get them started, get them rolling, get them fully engaged with me on a particular plan. That really builds a very, very good habit of accountability between myself and the client to me. And I'm just able to pay more attention to them, not have to worry about really marketing and trying to bring on new clients, right? So everything will be closed from January 1st to February 29th, 2024. Also in that season, I'm just going to be helping people for free. So that's a season where you'll be able to reach out and we'll just jump on a call for free because I'm not charging anything. It's also a strategy I use to give to God first, not only financially speaking, but also my time. So I'm giving a majority of my time in the first quarter of the year, right? Where I just pour, and then start to receive. Once I've helped those people, they're like, oh, dude, you've helped me go from negative $3,000 in cash flow, $1,000 negative cash flow, $0 cash flow to positive $3,000. Here's a couple grand, Denzel. Let's go take the next 10 years. So when people pay me, they're happy to pay me. And that's the culture that I want to create in my business and for my services, people that are excited to pay. Like, have you ever gone to a business location and you just happily give your money to them and you want to tip extra? Like think about your favorite restaurant where they always provide the best service. You walk in there knowing you're going to drop good money, or a particular service type of a business that you go into and you're just excited to give them your money, right? That's exactly what culture I've been able to create with my existing clients, where it's not a matter of, hey, can I get a discount, or hey, can you do this or do that? I almost never get that. Almost never. What I actually get more often is like, dude, it's only how much? Oh, okay. You sure? And it comes with all that? Yes. Dude, just, this is usually from my higher net worth clients that I serve. They're like, you should be charging way more, buddy. Like, how are you operating right now? Right? Like, I get that more than, can I get a discount? Why is it so much? Like, I almost never get that, right? And I got an email the other day from someone that said, love what you're doing, but your prices are so high, right? And I said, is free high? I didn't get a response, right, from them. I said, is free expensive? And so, like, they didn't know that I do all this free stuff, because like I tell people all the time, you do not have to pay me $1 to learn everything that I know. You don't. You really don't. If you watch the videos, if you get enrolled in my email newsletter, you join Finance Geek Ministry, you can access me for free. It just takes a little more work because I'm not just going to give my time to anybody, right? I'm going to give my time to people that want to be helped, right? They want the help and they want to be helped. There's a difference. People want help, but they don't want to be helped. Because the moment you try to help them, then they combat you. And I'm like, dude, what? I came here at open hands as a servant. Now you want to argue with me? Like, I did that in the first year of my business, 2 years or so, and I said, oh no, that's not happening, right? We need to develop a process that works. So, starting March 1st, after I pour and help those that I'm already serving, then I'll be launching the Financial Freedom Program, which is a 10-year challenge. Now, I recently did a live stream previously where I talked about the Financial Freedom Challenge, right? And we talked about, like, what is that valued at? And the highest number I think that people said in the chat, those that were live, were saying $15,000 was like the highest. And then the majority was around 10,000, right? Most people were like, oh, 10 years, financial freedom, full accountability, lifetime access to everything, unlimited phone calls with me. And the goal is to create financial freedom in 10 years or less, whatever that may be, however that looks for that particular individual. We can create a customized plan, whiteboard sessions, recorded calls. I mean, full on white glove service, full on. What is that valued at? Majority of the people, the lowest number that came in was 5,000, highest 15,000. Majority of people were around 10,000 bucks. So that financial freedom challenge, you can actually get that right now at 2,750 bucks. So why is that? Why are you doing that? Well, because I personally haven't created financial freedom for myself yet. Okay. I am so I started the YouTube channel in 2018, but technically started my business in 2019. So all of 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, now going on 24, I'm 6 years into my financial freedom journey. So by year 10, I'm projecting that I will create financial freedom for myself in 10 years or less, right? So because I haven't personally created financial freedom yet, and that's my, being fully transparent, I have financial independence, which simply means I have more money coming in passively than my cost of living and business expenses, right? But I still need to do work activity to get to the place that I want to be at, right? So my financial freedom number, technically the first baseline of my financial freedom number is generating $4 million a year, right? That's my 10x number from my previous 10x. So when I first started, I was making $2,000 a month, and I 10x'd my income to $20,000 a month. Now fast forward to today, I'm averaging $30,000 a month. So my goal is to go to my next 10x number is 4 million. So if I create 4 million by year 10 or sooner, then boom, I've achieved financial freedom. And even if I fail miserably, guys, let's say I fail miserably and I only make $1 million a year, who's upset? Are you upset? Am I upset? I'm gonna tell you, I'm not upset. I know how to live off $30,000, $50,000 a year because I grew up in low income, right? So I know how to stretch a dollar. I know how to live very modest, okay? So making $1 million a year and only spending now, today, I spend between my personal and business, I spend about 200 grand a year, maybe 215. That's including money I'm allocating to savings, right? And that's including taxes that I pay. So I'm netting like almost 40, 50% of my income in profit, right? So who's upset? Nobody's upset. Same idea would be for you when we're creating financial freedom, is we're going to create that 10x number. So if you're making 100 grand a year, times that by 10, $1 million would be our goal. That would be our first baseline number to achieve financial freedom, right? And then anything above that, I mean, once you get there, every other dollar you make gets easier and easier and easier, right? I've heard this said before so many times by the most wealthiest people I've interacted with. They're like, your first million is the hardest, right? Your first 100 grand is the hardest. Your first 10,000 is the hardest. Then it gets extremely easy afterwards, or simple. It gets very, very simple after you've generated what you're looking to do. So, financial freedom program, 10 years is the goal. If we fail miserably, right? Let's say your goal was generate $1 million a year. So go from 100K to $1 million in 10 years or less. And we fail miserably and you only get to 750,000. I don't think you're going to be upset with me. I don't think you're going to ask for a refund. I really don't, right? And if you do, here you go, bro, right? Here you go. Like, I'm not even fussing at that point because I know where I'm going to be. So I'm actually doing the program with you together. I think that's really unique in terms of a type of a program. Typically, you're, say, hiring a guru or coach that's 20 years ahead of you, 15 years ahead of you, where maybe I'm only a couple levels ahead of you, but I'm right there with you, so I can relate to those exact block points that you're facing, right, along the way. So that's the Financial Freedom Program, rolling that out. You can enroll in that for right now at $2,750, right? And then there's two other payment options. You can do monthly, $275 a month. Then there's $997. That's on my website, denzelrodriguez.com, under financial services. You'll see those three price points. Now, if you're someone that has already paid me money in the past, you booked a coaching call, 2, 3, you're in the manifesto, you paid the $997, you paid the $497, you've been paying $50 a month for 6 months. Whatever dollar amount you've paid me in the past and you want to enroll in that program at, say, the $2,750, I'm literally going to minus dollar for dollar discount what you've already paid toward that program. So it's like, this is really stupid, right? At this point. Why am I doing this? Again, I'm looking to get a batch of people that I can help create financial freedom so that I have proof. Now I'm credible, so that when I actually have a better system, because we're going to make mistakes, okay? I'm going to make mistakes. There's going to be hiccups here and there. I'm going to figure out, that's what we're doing. We're literally building this as we go along. And I'm giving myself 10 years. I'm giving the program 10 years. And then if people start achieving financial freedom in 4 years, and 7 years, and 8 years, and 2 years, whatever the range is, once I get enough testimonies, credible, like the numbers are proven, this person joined, now they're making this. This person joined at here, now they're making this type of thing. They 2x, they 3x, they 4x, they 10x, whatever it is. Then that gives me proof that I know what I'm doing and that I can do it better, and then increase the rates, right, on how that service gets provided, right? I'm able to do more. I'm able to add more things in there when I raise the price, right? So right now, it's the current pricing. But then in 2024, starting March 1st, it'll be $375 a month for 12 months, or you pay one time, $3,997, lifetime, okay? And it's going to be limited, right? I'm only going to take a certain amount of people through that program, because that's going to be high intensity, high amount of time that I need to dedicate to that individual for us to hit our our milestones, our goals, our revenues, get our mindset right. And you won't be able to just buy it off the website. You're going to have to actually talk to me one-on-one before joining, and I'm going to put you through a pre-qualification course where you literally have to sign and date documents, like these are covenants that you have to sign and agree to, that you're not going to quit, you're not going to, there's no refunds for this, okay? You agree to all of the terms. You have to have the right mindset coming into it. You need to be willing to be held accountable and called out. You need to be active. You need to communicate with me on a monthly basis or at least bi-monthly, okay? Like, you have to agree to all these terms and conditions that I am establishing, because this is a no BS program. There is no slacking. There is no quitting, right? You enroll, you agree, hey, this is not a get-rich-quick program. This is not a scheme, a scam. This is not anything like you've ever seen, okay? You agree, yes, sign, date, yes, sign, date, yes, sign, date. Once you send those documents to me, then you're going to get a link to book a phone call. You also have to be financially stable to get into the program. So I'm going to have some terms. You need to have at least 3 to 6 months in reserves. You need to have positive cash flow, at least $500 to $1,000 or more, conservatively and consecutive, right? Positive cash flow per month. Decent credit score, some savings, right? Good steward of money. Like, we've already gone through, like, you already have a financial foundation. Now you're looking to scale and explode and expand the kingdom, your kingdom, right? Live the life you desire. So that's why it's going to be very, very intense. You can't just get in there. You can't just buy it. Only people that I actually trust and want to work with and want to serve will go through that program. So it'll be limited space, and you have to qualify to get in, okay? So that's everything on services going into 2024. Now, the content should feed this in terms of how I serve you off camera. This is how I serve you on camera. So I put out an email a couple days ago, and I think I'll share it. Yeah, I'm just gonna share exactly what some of you have already said, right? When you responded to my email. So I put an email out to my loyal subscribers saying, hey, are you receiving value from me? Yes or no? And I asked you, what content would you like me to create, right? So here on the whiteboard, I summarized it, but basically what you guys are asking for is more case studies. So that is the most requested thing. More case studies on velocity banking concept and infinite banking. I also threw in there pregame case studies. So case studies that show the steps people took before they actually got velocity banking in place, or before they actually got infinite banking in place. We were doing debt snowball. We were doing cash flow index. We were building our credit. We were focusing on being a better steward. We were cutting expenses. We were cutting the fat. We were cutting the waste, right? So that's like one of the most requested things that you have said. Then the next thing was wealth building for low income, starting out, and some content ideas that I personally have was doing some more content on real estate. So I literally just closed on a house about a week ago, and so I'm a new homeowner, and I'm also in debt, right? So now I'm a man in debt. For the last 5 years or so, I've been completely debt free, but now I'm in a massive amount of debt, right? Compared to the amount of debt I was in before starting a YouTube channel. The highest amount of debt I've ever had prior to starting the YouTube channel was $30,000 or $35,000. That was like most amount of debt. Well, I just bought this property, a primary residence, using a first lien HELOC, and the credit limit is 567,000 or 566,000 and some change. And so that's how much I owe, 567,000. And I'm gonna do a whole series really tracking my own numbers over the next 2-3 years on how I will pay that off in about 2 to 3 years or less, right? How I'm gonna just wipe that out, entire debt, by doing velocity banking and infinite banking, all while retaining liquidity, recapturing interest that I would have lost to the bank, flowing it through the policy pays off the mortgage, right? And continue to build more wealth. So I'm excited about that. Then I'm thinking about creating private content where I do half day and full day virtual workshops, either completely for free, right? Or some kind of a entry level ticket. And then doing the same thing where I put a price on it, but then again, if you can't find the dollars to pay for it, you just reach out and say, hey, I'd really like to be a part of this program. Help now, pay later, okay? I have been talking a whole lot about financial crisis and crisis planning the last couple of weeks and last couple of months privately with my audience that is in Finance Geek Ministry. We've been doing a whole lot of crisis planning and financial planning for crisis because 2024 is going to be a wild, chaotic year. A lot of people are losing their jobs right now. Like, it's not mainstream news, but a lot of people are getting laid off right now, like a lot. And that number is going to continue to increase. So people are losing their jobs. Business owners are losing revenue. You're going to see a whole lot of constrain, restricting. You'll definitely probably see banks tightening lending again, not handing out HELOCs and PLOCs and credit cards like nobody's business. We're also seeing a lot of different things going on where banks or certain practices are getting exposed. Okay, recently there's been big news in the financial space where we saw Navy Federal Credit Union get exposed, where you had a bunch of people getting denied for mortgages based on discrimination, right? I think primarily targeted towards the Black community and probably Hispanics as well. Whether that's true or not my concern. What I do see, and this is probably at fault, like, I definitely have to put some blame on content creators like myself, where we encourage people to go and get debt, right? Like, this channel, the goal of it is to make you aware of what's possible, but I never want to convince anyone to do anything just because it's like free or it's easily available or easily get $250,000 in funding. You'll never hear me speak that kind of language on how you can easily get $250,000, $500,000 of funding of debt at 0% and all this stuff. I never do that because the likelihood of that individual stewarding $250,000, $100,000, $500,000 of debt properly, high risk, right? If you can't manage a $5,000 credit card, what makes you think that you're going to start this business, get $250,000 of funding through SBA loans, through credit cards, through, finesse ways of dealing with the banks and faking your income and all this stuff? So now you get the money. The banks gave it to you because they already know, oh, this person, right? Minority? Yeah. Here you go. Here's a $10,000 card. Let's see what you do with it. Pay us the interest. Get screwed. If you don't pay, the bank doesn't lose when you don't pay your credit cards, by the way. The banks do not lose. They're insured. They're backed up. That debt becomes zombie debt. Someone else buys it from the bank when you no longer pay, and it goes into collections, right? So the bank doesn't get hurt when you don't pay your debts, just so you know, right? So we've had a lot of content creators in the space like myself. Like, I'm literally putting myself on the spot. A lot of content creators like myself that encourage people to get these loads and loads of debt so they can make all this money leveraging debt, right? Not teaching the proper strategies, not teaching proper financial stewardship skills, management skills. So now you try to go do your little Burr method, you try to go do your little investment strategy, you buy your little crypto, you lose all the freaking money. The guru got paid because you paid him $20,000 for the program, $15,000. So the guru got paid. The bank is banking on that interest that you're no longer paying because your investment idea didn't work out because you didn't build the financial foundation. So think about the thousands of people that were doing this, and Navy Federal was one of the key kinds of banks where you can easily kind of get funding with credit cards by lying, right? By literally lying. They give you access to credit cards and whatnot, all this debt, turn credit into cash, cash goes, does this, all this finesse, finagle, and look what we see. Now, because predominantly black people and Hispanics are doing that crap because they're learning it from leaders, other black and Hispanic leaders like myself that create content. Yes, I'm calling everybody out. That is a content creator that has done this. And so now we have black community, Hispanic community that are already broke as hell, already not doing well, okay? And then they go and get all this debt at this bank, Navy Fed, or maybe it was Key Bank or PNC, right? I know the play. I never talk about it. I know the play, right? You guys get this debt. You pay the darn guru. He's good. She's good. The bank's good. You're now screwed, right? Because you don't have a strategy on how to eliminate all that debt because you leveraged 10x your income, 7x your income. You didn't follow my rules, of course, of leverage capacity, where you take cash flow times 12 and you take the credit limit and times it by 66% or 2/3, and that's your max leverage capacity. No one's talking about that, right? Of staying below leverage. So now those same people now have bad credit scores and high debt, and then wonder why when they try and go apply for a mortgage, they're getting denied by that bank. And now the bank is being accused of discriminating against blacks and Hispanics. Well, it's like, well, duh. Of course they're denying all these black people and Hispanic people because they have all this damn debt, right? Now, I'm not defending Navy Fed because they played into that. I'm definitely not defending Navy Fed. They know what they're doing. And so they're probably hiding behind the fact that blacks and Hispanics are not qualified for the mortgage, right? But then what happens is if you put a blanket over that community, there are good stewards in the black community and good stewards in the Hispanic community that make good money, good cash flow. DTIs are similar or higher than, say, the white community, and then they're getting approved for that mortgage. The black or Hispanic person does not get approved. Now, my thought process, the way I think about that, yes, you could say, boom, that's racist, right? Or that's discrimination. But I think there's a bigger play because there's something bigger behind that. I don't know what it is, but if I had to take a guess, the more I can keep you down by putting a blanket statement over your community where it's like, well, look at y'all. Look at how y'all borrow when versus how white people borrow, or Asians, or Jews, right? Or counterparts, different races. Look at how you guys borrow. So if a white person's DTI is 40%, but that DTI is composed of car loan, student loan, and maybe like two, three cars, student loans, no credit card debt, maybe a personal loan. black person, Hispanic, same DTI, 40%, over 50% of it is in credit card debt. Bank says you're denied for the mortgage that you're trying to get, even though the DTI is the same, even though, let's say, that white person, that black person, Hispanic person is making the same income, same cash flow. It's because of the type of debt that you've been acquiring, which is why on this channel, when we talk about velocity banking and how I always say, okay, if we're doing velocity banking to pay off debt, your credit score is going to do this. It's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But typically it's going to go up more than it goes down over the long run. But it's over the long run. In the short, you're going to be going down, down, and then up, down, like that. So if you're doing velocity banking and then you get to a point in your life where you now want to get a mortgage, you want to buy a home, you want to qualify, I've always said this, you're going to want to stop doing velocity banking. You're going to want to actually pump the brakes. So you want to pay off what we want to pay off, right? And then once we've paid off what we want to pay off, we got the DTI down, we need to let time sort of be, bring that line of credit to zero. Let's not use it. We have very low debt in utilization debt via credit cards and lines of credits. And then we stack cash. So we start just saving money the traditional way. You just, whatever your cash flow is at the end of the month, save that in the savings account. You start building the capital up, right? After a couple of months, then we can apply for that mortgage once we meet the credit score standard for that bank, the amount of money that we need set aside, and then when they ask where the money's coming from for the down payment, we say the cash, but if I still have that PLOC or that HELOC or whatever it is, I can technically pull from that to make the down payment, right? And because it's instant, I can just, boom, withdraw it right to the cash. This way I don't lose my liquidity, and then I'm leveraging debt to acquire the next property. But if I had it outstanding months before, then the bank sees that and they count that into your DTI when you get the new property. And that's how you could probably have some discrepancy. So went a bit off tangent there. I don't know how I got there, but I did get real passionate about that just because I've been seeing what's been going on. That's how I got there, because I've been talking about financial crisis and what's going on. So a lot of people are going to be facing that. And my goal is to create solutions on how we move forward. So continuing along, private content, and then my personal passion is creating kingdom content. So I'm going to be sprinkling kingdom content along the way, but know that according to you all, this is what you're saying. You want more case studies. You want more velocity banking, infinite banking case studies, and then starter case studies, etc., etc. Let me go ahead and share my screen and show exactly what you've been writing to me. So these are words that you guys have been writing to me, right? So more case study videos showing the numbers and how they work. Someone said First Savings Bank HELOC updated requirement for 2024. Cool. So that's very, very specific. I like when you guys get very, very specific. So many of you are asking, hey, how do I qualify for the first lien HELOC? Very specifically was the First Savings Bank, what their new requirements are for 2024. Has anything changed since your last video? So I need to hook up with First Savings Bank again, get Anthony Rushing back here, or someone from the team to talk about the requirements to get approved if anything has been changed. Someone said, keep up the periodic updates on the process and progress on your vision for a center that provides so many benefits and opportunities to this community you have so lovingly created. So that is talking about Finance Geek Ministry. My long-term goal is to have a church, like a ministry of finance, where we don't just gather on Sunday and do a sermon, but literally weekly kingdom financial classes on personal financial stewardship. and how we combine faith and finances using kingdom protocols, right? Someone else said, I find your velocity banking case studies more valuable. Secondly, I like the combination of velocity banking and infant banking case studies. In 2024, I would like to learn more about using velocity and the debt weapon for beginners. That was someone else. And someone else wrote just whole life insurance, infinite banking. Someone said, please continue making case studies on velocity banking, infinite banking. So you see the thing, right? I would love for you to do a series on wealth building specifically geared towards the low income community. As you know, there are numerous obstacles one must overcome in gaining proper mindset and having access to the right wealth building information. Over 60% of Americans don't have an extra $400 to access in case of emergency, and it's even worse for minorities. I would love if you would help to identify gaps and speak on tangible solutions. Okay? So I'll speak to that very, very briefly. And I just went on a tangent regarding that because I do get passionate when it's the minority community getting easily persuaded and convinced on this, internet, social media. We're so desperate already that when we hear something, how to get rich fast and get rich quick and do all these things and how possible it is, and yes, I get it, it is possible. The reality is what that person's not sharing is the 5 to 10 years they spent educating themselves, okay? So one of the best things that the minority community can do, right? So if I specifically talk to Puerto Ricans, right? Colombians, Spanish people, the smartest thing that we can continue to do is reduce our desperation to chase money. That's probably the best thing all of us could do right now. Is ask yourself, why am I chasing ROI? Why am I chasing the highest rate of return? Why am I chasing money? Why? Think about it. Well, Denzel, because I need to feed my family. Okay, you can do that by getting a steady career job and go and picking up a skill. Okay, but I'm supposed to work smarter, not harder. Dude, all work is profitable. All work works on you. The work works more on you than you on it. Okay? So if we would just reduce our desperation to become rich fast, reduce our chasing of money, and focused on how do I serve people more? How do I chase becoming a servant leader? How do I chase purpose and bring value to the marketplace? Buddy, the money will follow you big time. But when we chase money, then we hook up with the sexy guru, the attractive male or female. We hook up with the sexy guru, pay them the $7,000, the $27,000, the $50,000 that we didn't have because you only make $50,000 a year. Somehow you found all that damn money, went into massive debt, payment plan, $500 a month for 38 months at 17% interest because you're financing a freaking course that you don't even have the capacity, mindset, commitment, discipline to even go through and watch the dang videos because you're not committed, because you don't have the right mindset, right? So just speaking to that, that's the best thing all of us can do that are low income, poor, low middle class, struggling minorities in the United States. Reduce your desperation for money. Stop chasing money as quickly as possible, as fast as possible. Start there. Do that for 9 months. Do that for 2 years. Watch what it does to you. It did something to me. Changed me dramatically. I don't chase money today. I really don't. Right? Money follows me. So, I am most passionate about this, so please keep me posted. Thanks, Denzel. Anyway, you can do a video of velocity if there was an emergency, like to purchase a car and get back on track with velocity? Thanks. Yes, so I've done some videos with that, so I'll keep doing that. Someone else said, now that I'm close to being completely debt-free, what's the next step? I have a HELOC, I'm investing some in stocks, I have a life insurance policy, I want to get into real estate, and I have an idea what I want to do, but don't know any real estate tricks of the trade, right? So, cool stuff. Like, that's definitely higher level content, so I will sprinkle that in there. But for what the majority of people are saying is they need more case studies, they need more beginner videos, so no problem. That'll be majority, and then I'll sprinkle in the advanced stuff. Someone else said, I would like you to dive deeper on ICOVES and what it entails. Also discussion on how to protect the income of solopreneurs who are heavily taxed, right? So this is getting into even more specific content. So I'll take it back to the screen here, and I'm going to see what some of you guys are saying. But all the other responses that I got are very, very specific, and some of them are kind of left field. Like someone was saying, you know, talk about trading stocks, talk about family office and trust and things like that. And I'm like, that would be deviating from the channel. So the majority of you are saying case studies, beginner content, low income strategies to build wealth. And then what I'm working on, right? Last part here, and then we'll go to your comments, is I'm working on better marketing and doing clear action, doing clear call to actions for certain things, right? So in more of my videos, I need to be more clear on, like, when I do a velocity banking case study, I need to mention, hey, if you want to improve your experience on this channel in regards to the velocity banking concept, go click this playlist here that says all about the velocity banking concept. Or if you're struggling on how to get a line of credit, check out this playlist here, all about the line of credit. So I spent a lot of time putting very detailed playlists together in chronological order where you can just watch case study videos on velocity banking using a credit card, or using a personal line of credit, or using a second lien HELOC, or using a first lien HELOC. So I've separated everything. So if you go directly on my YouTube channel and then hover over playlists, you can cater your watching experience better, where you're just getting video after video of the thing that you're specifically working on, right? Rather than trying to just watch any video on my YouTube channel. So that improves your educational experience, right? Now, the next cool thing that I'm going to be implementing in the new year, okay? I don't know who to give credit to this, but this is not my idea. I know I've heard Chris Kirkpatrick from Life 180 say this, and so I'll just give him credit. Either I heard it from him or I heard it from someone else. But they said the importance of putting together a personal P&L statement monthly for all of us. So that is a challenge that I have for this entire YouTube channel and all of my existing clients, is moving forward to become a better steward over your finances. You need to produce a P&L statement monthly for you. And I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not so hard. It's not crazy, right? I'm going to do it real quick. I'm going to show you my own bank account, right? Of my business bank account. And I'm going to show you exactly how you produce a personal P&L statement. If you're a business owner, QuickBooks automatically does it, you know, for you, or if you have an accountant, they automatically do it for you and they produce a P&L statement, but typically it's for the whole entire year. But if you go month by month, you're able to really track how you're operating. And those of you that do not like to budget, I don't budget, okay? Budgeting doesn't work for me, okay? What works for me is simply knowing my numbers. If I know my numbers, if I know how I spend money and where I spend money, I'm able to be more intentional to say, I don't want that in my life. I'm taking that out of my life. I'm going to reduce this because it's not bringing value and happiness and joy and peace to me. That's how I build my financial strategy month by month, year by year. I don't budget. I just simply spend less than what I make, right? And I live intentionally with every transaction I make, and I focus on creating more value, which creates more income, which increases the gap between what I make and what I spend, right? So let's literally, if you're watching on your phone, get your computer right now, or if you're watching on your computer, open up another tab, go to your checking account, and we're going to do this together. So log into your checking account right now. Especially the majority of people watching are not business owners. The majority of people on this that watch this YouTube channel that are subscribed, you don't have a business. So P&L sounds like a business term. We're going to start doing P&Ls for your personal household, your personal kingdom, household economy, P&L statement. We're going to do this together. So I will share my screen. Let me pull up my bank account real quick. I'm going to do, if you have multiple checking accounts, you have to do P&Ls for all of those checking accounts. And then you add everything up and you minus from the expense so you can see what the cash flow is for that month, right? I'm going to tell you, if you guys do this, you will dramatically improve your personal finances, and it has nothing to do with how do I make more money and how do I get a better ROI and how do I chase this and chase that and learn this. This is stewardship. The better you become at stewarding money, more money comes to you because you are trustworthy. You are a good manager of that money, so you will be trusted with more. That's how this works, right? It's not about the highest ROI that you can get, or what do I do with $1,000 of my money? Like, no, it's stewardship first. So let's go ahead and share my screen, and then I'll come to the comments, okay? All right, so this is my business checking account, right? So what we're gonna do, and most of you will, some way, shape, or form, most banking apps are very, very similar. But you come right over here to filters, okay? And we're gonna do December. December's almost over, right? So we're gonna look at December. You put the filters in, you say, okay, December 1st to today. And we're gonna look at the credits. So how much money came into the bank account for the month of December. How much money came in for the month of December, right? And so it does it for you. Automatically get the number, 21,862.54. So I'm going to write that on my whiteboard right now. So income in 21,862.54. 862.54, money in. Now do the same thing. Debits. Look how fast this takes. These are the debits. Money going out. Money leaving that checking account. Okay? So this is money going out. Was 32,702. So that's your expense number. 32,702.86. 702.86. So if we're just looking at the P&L for the month of December for my business checking account, I produced what? Did I produce a positive cash flow or did I produce a negative? Well, you only brought in 21,862, right? And you spent 32. So 21,862.54 minus 32,702.86. So that is a negative cash flow. Negative cash flow. I don't know if y'all heard that. There's like a bunch of bikers that just drove through this quiet community that I live in. So my bad if y'all heard all that noise. So negative $10,840.32. That is my P&L for December 23. Saw how fast that was? That took me 2 minutes to do that. Simple, right? Let me tell you, this puts a microscope, it shines a bright light on how you're operating your finances today. What a bright light. What an eye-opening type of a thing to operate your finances. So you would need to do that with every checking account you have so that everything is lined up, because that sounds crazy, right? Well, oh shoot, Denzel, you only made $21,862.54 and you spend $32,702.86. If you take a deeper dive, I didn't spend 32. I transferred money out of the bank account, out of that specific bank account to another bank account. So I transferred $15,000. So if we really said 32,702.86 minus 15,000, it's really 17,702.86 was expensed out of the business. So technically I produced a positive cash flow this month in terms of expenses, but I transferred $15,000 out of the business to the personal because I recently just closed on a property. So I moved some money from business to personal for the down payment, right? As well as I pulled from cash value to cover the down payment, right? Because that money was flowing out of the business to personal, personal to policy, right? And then policy back to checking. Checking puts the down payment, wired the money for the mortgage, right? So do that. That literally took 5 minutes. Comment below if you just did that with me. You went into your bank account, and if you haven't done it, do it right now. It's the end of the month. You could do November, right? November was a full month, or you could do December. You log in, you click on filters, you click on custom date, December 1st to today. You then click credits, how much money came into your economy this month. Then you flip it, put debits, how much money left your economy this month. That's your cash flow. So anybody that's like, I don't know what my cash flow is. I don't know. It's like, why make your life so hard? Why get a whole headache? Why put a whole budget together? Oh, I think I spend this much, and I think I spend this much on that, and I think I spend that much on that. We have the technology of the 21st century today, folks. Let's use it. Okay? Makes your life so much easier. It took me 3 minutes to do that, maybe 5, and would actually take me 60 seconds when I'm not explaining it. Okay? Who did it just now? Jerry says I did it with you. Love it. Shout out to Jerry. Okay, we're going to look at some Q&A now. I'm going to scroll up to the top, look at some Q&A, see what you guys are saying. So shout out to Perez from Orange County. Shout out to Tanya. Shout out to Jerry again. Shout out to the money teacher from Chicago. Shout out to Marilyn. Yeah, afterpay, layaway. Layaway was the word. Yeah, or afterpay or buy now, pay later. Shout out to Terry. It's been a while. We should jump on a call. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and show Denzel some love. Thank you. We got 18 likes and there's 36 people watching. So if you're part of the discrepancy that hasn't liked the video yet and you've gotten tremendous value, I'm only asking after an hour. I didn't ask you to like it before. I'm someone that says, hey, did I give you value? Okay, can you show some appreciation for that value? Go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you very much. Shout out to Ramos. Shout out to Tim. Your amazing info has saved me thousands. Thank you. Priceless. Joey, so highly appreciate All you are doing for the good of the kingdom. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to SJ from Texas. Have you done coaching / your programs with a realtor as a client before? I have a close family member that is a realtor who I think needs some core financial education accountability. So if I understand your question, have I worked with realtors in my coaching program? The answer is yes. One in particular I can think of, we've been working together for years. She's awesome. And she went from, not a whole lot of income and cash flow to now she's investing and making money. I think she is married. Yeah, married. Just doing really well. Good unit. So yes, realtors are fun to work with as well because they're thinking expansion. How do I make more money already? They're already in that mindset. They just lack stewardship sometimes, right? And it would honestly help realtors to do P&L statements for themselves because typically what happens is you get a big commission check 1 month, but then no sales for 2 months, then another big commission check. So you have to extend the money out. And sometimes that can be a little confusing. But it's like if you know how much money you spend each month, let's say it's $2,000 and you get an $8,000 commission check, why did you spend $5,000 that month? That's because you had the money. But if you know where your money goes and you're intentional about it, you can make $8,000 and still spend $2,000 that month, $2,000 next month, $2,000 next month, that's $6,000 and still have $2,000 left over. By the time you get the next paycheck, you get $6,000 and you're able to extend the money. It's not that difficult. We just have to be more intentional, right? Shout out to Alicia. Have a blessed 2024. Congrats. Welcome to home ownership. Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Scott. Scott says you're speaking facts. Okay. Essentially, black and brown folks need to become more affluent in their finances, put themselves in a better position to make major purchases. I agree with this. I think the difficulty, though, that we have in today's economic environment is because we all live on social media today. In addition to becoming more affluent, we also need to work on our culture of what rich really means, what wealthy really means. And so oftentimes, the best examples that a black person, Hispanic, could have is another successful black person or Hispanic. It's like that's the best example that we could look up to, right? I'm sure you would agree with that. When they look like you, you relate. Oh, he's Puerto Rican, 27 years old. I'm 22. What? Right? Or, oh, he's black. What? Oh, but here's our problem though. Because of our culture, for say I'll speak to the Hispanic community, we look up to baseball players, soccer players, and the reggaeton, the salsa, merengue, bachata singers. Maybe not so much the salsa singers. Those are probably better role models, maybe. But more so the reggaeton. Bad Bunny, Daddy Yankee, Maluma, Ozuna, right? Right? We get all excited and we see them with the, right? And the chains. And it's like, right? All this stuff. We see them with 10 women, right? The big homes, the Lambos, the jets, the boats, the Rolexes. So we see that more pushed to us. And unfortunately, that wealthy Puerto Rican that didn't go that route, that guy or gal is not creating enough content to show us a different route, a different way we can go, a different way of interpreting wealth and riches. We could totally have the boats and the jets, and we could have all that stuff, but we don't have to tie our, how should we say it? We don't have to say, oh, in order to be rich, you need that. Or you need to get that, fake it till you make it, so that people believe you. No, if you focus on becoming a better speaker, stop cursing all the time, stop talking ghetto, and actually be more proper with your language. It has nothing to do with becoming more white. It has nothing to do with that. Grammar is neutral. You don't say ain't. You just don't. Right? If you use proper language, curse less, and speak with integrity, speak with honor, be transparent, open, and honest, you're going to attract higher net worth people into your life. You're going to attract more positive people into your life just by the way you speak and present yourself, in addition to presenting ourselves, right, in the Hispanic community, right? I'm just going to speak to my culture. If we would learn more on how to properly dress, we don't have to sag our pants, we don't have to wear ridiculously large shirts, we don't have to get expensive hats and caps, whatever it is, and wear ridiculous Cuban links and chains, and we don't have to do none of that. We can just we can just be plain Jane, right? Match, clean, cut, trim the hair down a little bit, cut the sideburns, right? Be clean with the beard. I'm really not a good example of this right now. I don't have my hair cut and whatnot, but you get the point. When you're gonna present yourself, don't be shy, wear a suit, put on the tie, especially when you're building. Once you make the money and you dress however you want to dress. When I leave my house, like majority of the time, I'm wearing shorts and a shirt. I'm in South Florida. It's hot all the time. I'm wearing shirts and a short almost everywhere I go. Now, when I go to business conferences, workshops, meetings, masterminds, you will see me suit up. I don't play, right? I will suit up, or I will wear business casual, or if I'm going to a kind of like social media kind of branding workshop type of event, I'll wear my merch, right? I'll represent myself, right? And that usually, but I'm still clean cut, all that stuff. Again, this has nothing to do with how much more money we can make, right? It's all about culture. What is our culture? How do we view certain things? When you go from making $50,000 to $100,000, what are you buying differently that you wasn't buying before at 50K? And I would put a challenge to people that are at low income to say, hey, if you went from 50,000 a year and 10x and went to 500,000 a year, but continue to wear the same exact clothing brands you wear at 50,000 and the same exact pairs of shoes, bought no more new shoes, bought no more new clothes outside of what you normally do under 50, and continue to drive the same car and not go up in car, not go up in clothes, not go up in materials like watches and chains, I promise you, that is true wealth, where you can be a steward over it, reinvest all that profit and funds into the business, into the thing that got you from 50 to 500, and invested more in skills and knowledge. And if you did buy an expensive piece of clothing, let it be a suit. Let it be business uniform, business wear that is going to make you look even more presentable, not flashy and ghetto, right? There's a better way of doing things. So it's a matter of changing our culture big time for the majority of us before we even talk about making more money and learning financial strategies. Because you could learn the financial strategies and you can become more affluent in finance. You could do all of that, make a bunch of money, but then you're still living paycheck to paycheck. So what's the point, right? A little tangent. Most loans are financial shackles. Avoid them as much as you can, and you're right on track with the minority community. It's just a lack of knowledge of how things work and what tools are available. Shout out to Janet. Thanks for taking your time, helping us learn what you think about. What do you think about Money Max account? Janet, I did a video on, I suggest you watch it, United Financial Freedom Honest Review. I personally own the Money Max account. I've recommended it to clients, and I'm connected to that business and still get people every now and then that will buy it. It's a software that helps you get out of debt. Plain Jane, plain simple. Software that helps you get out of debt, tracks all your money in and out. So if you're more tech savvy, if you're someone that is going to be committed to logging into that account every single day and get used to using it and inputting your numbers in there, it might be worth your time. But it is a higher ticket product, right? So you need to have the money to afford it, right? From Riverside, Alethea Guzman. James Holly says, I do it every month with my Excel spreadsheet. Good. So what James does is he'll do the P&L on the bank and then translate that stuff into the spreadsheet. That works too. I start but get lost. I think every bank is different. Okay, let's go back, Janet. Do it for you right now. So again, every bank has a home page. So you would click on whatever checking account you have. Now it opens it up, and then you're going to see transactions. It might say details, right? It'll show different things there. But there's going to be a button called filters. So you're going to click on filter. Now it's going to bring this up, and it'll ask you the time period you want to put custom date. You put the top of the month, the very first of the month, and you put the last day of the month. In this case, it's not the last day yet, but pretty much almost the last. So now we have our range, 1 month. We're doing P&L statements for 1 month. Transaction type. Do credits first. Right? This is how much money came into your account. Apply the filter. And it'll only show you money that came in. Right? You'll take that number at the bottom. That's how much came in credits. Write that number down. Then you click on debits. Debits is money coming out, right? When they debit your account. Apply the filters. Take that number. Boom. That's what you get. If your debit number is higher than your credit number, you produced a negative cash flow unless you moved some of the money from one location to another. In this case, that $15,000 got moved from one location to another. So it looks like I produced a negative cash flow, but technically I did not for the month of December, right? Very, very important. And you would do that over all your bank accounts. That's how you do a monthly P&L statement. And it is your job, my challenge to everyone watching, those catching the replay, to do that. Okay? Every month moving forward. Challenge to my clients. You would send me your P&L statement, Denzel, boom, here's how much you made, here's how much we spent. Here's how much you made, here's how much you spent. And you could put it in your spreadsheet, however you want to do it. Eric says, I'm driving. We'll watch the replay to be able to see the P&L process. Good. Okay. Scott says, tremendous value. Jackie, amazing value. Shout out to Jackie. You are a blessing to the community and will continue to be blessed. Thank you for all that you do. So shout out to T White Consulting. Shout out to Lynn. She says, facts, facts. Jackie, health is the real wealth. Agreed, agreed. Yep, true wealth. You gotta have your, I'd say, faith, health, money. I don't know. One of those orders. It's like, encompasses everything. I'm on the road, but we'll do it today. Agreed. Perez says, I use Mint. It does it for me. Good. Same for my people. We subscribe to poverty. That is what most, not all, of us are raised in, and see entertainers, gang culture, sports athletes as our escape. Stop wearing other people's identity, making them rich. That's a deep one, Jackie. That's a deep one. Stop wearing other people's identity. Yeah. Imagine this. If you were deeply honest with yourself and you become aware that you spend a lot of money on clothes, right? I dare you, I challenge you to only shop at Goodwill, Salvation Army, thrift stores. You could go to the most expensive neighborhood where they have a thrift store. If you're really like, you get cringy already. Oh my God, I can't wear anything but, Gucci, Prada, Rolex, and Louis, and Coach, Ferragamo, and all these different brands, and Calvin, and Ink, and all this stuff. I dare you. I challenge you. 1 year. Shop at only thrift. Goodwill, Salvation Army. See what it does for you. And the only time you would get more expensive wear is if you need to go to a meeting, a business meeting. Most of us already have some kind of a collar shirt, tie for the women, a dress, a blazer. Most of us already have some of that, or we could borrow it for someone. Oh, wow, think of that. Borrow, right? We don't even have to pay. Just ask a friend, ask a family member that is similar to your size. Hey, can I wear your blazer? Hey, can I wear your jacket? Hey, can I wear your suit? Right? See what that does for you. See how much money you recover in cash flow alone. It has nothing to do with making more money. How much you recover, and then you build a culture, you rewire your brain to only wear certain clothes of a certain dollar amount. And gosh, it'll do so much for you. It'll do so much for you. Wearing other people's identity, making them rich, create your own identity. Yep. So in that, we can create our own identity. Janice says, thank you. Yep. Does anybody need me to go through that again on the P&L? You have to give up to go up financially. Absolutely agree. And you know what's even crazier? That line, you have to give up to go up, only applies to the person that has so much, but technically so little in net worth. So can you imagine if you and I, as leaders of our household, I don't have children yet, but many of you do have children. Imagine if you developed a culture in your household where you are not tied to your possessions, and then you dress your children how you dress, which is not expensive, so that when they get older, they only know that culture of not spending $100 on a t-shirt, $100 on a pair of jeans. They only know $20 jeans, $10 shirts, $5 shirts, $2 shirts, $7 shirts from Marshalls and Ross. If they only know that, then they become an adult and they start working. They start making money. And then when they shop, they continue to only buy that. So they don't ever have to give up. they can only go up. Isn't that good? They don't have to give up. They just go up. Because there's nothing to give up. The shirts that they wear, they've been wearing it for 5 years straight, right? For 7 years. They didn't throw it out after the season went dead. It doesn't sit in their closet and gain dust, right? They use it over and over and over again until holes start popping and they're like, all right, we gotta get rid of that shirt. Buy another $4 shirt, same color, right? And you just keep doing that. Then they build their wealth and you teach them the affluent financial strategies and concepts and financial foundation, and they boom, 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 keep building, keep building, keep building, keep building, keep building. And then when they finally spend, when they drop, tens of thousands of dollars on clothes, watches, chains, necklaces, rings, shoes, it's only 1% of their income, if that. Less than 1% of their income. So the only time I personally will ever buy a Rolex watch is when it is 1% of my income, max. So I don't even know how much a Rolex costs, but let's say 50 grand, right? You know what? A real nice one. Let me look it up because I'm real ignorant. So let's look it up real quick. How much does a Rolex cost? So I'm seeing, okay, a Rolex Pearl Master, rose gold, okay, 109,000 used. Hold on, how much does a new Rolex cost? New Rolex watch cost. What the heck? Why is it not showing it? 2023 prices. How much is a Rolex? Wide range starting at $5,500, soaring up to $75,000. Nah, it's got to be way more than that. We'll go with 100 grand. All right, because for me, when I buy eventually a Rolex, I'm not buying a cheap Rolex. I'm buying the Rolex, right? So I'm seeing like 100. So I'm gonna go 150, right? 150. If I was to buy a $150,000 Rolex, I would need to make. How do you do the math on that? I forget. It's probably what's 1% in income to 150,000. How do you do the math on that? I forget. I think it's 15 million times 1%. Yeah, it's 15 million. So if I were to buy a Rolex for $150,000, I personally either would want $15 million plus in net worth, right? Or anywhere from $10 to $15 million generating an income before I buy that Rolex. 1% of my gross annual income. So either I have $15 million accumulated over a period of time, and that's in net worth, liquid, right? Plus, if I'm making 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, like whatever at least 5 million, 10 million a year, then I would go ahead and buy a Rolex. And that goes for anything that I do. When I bought my custom-made suits, the math was anywhere from 1 upwards of 2% of my annual gross income, right? The cars, when it comes to cars, it's about maybe 5% of my annual gross income, I would say. So I've been driving a Hyundai Tucson, right? So this is culture stuff, because this really helps us keep so much wealth when we understand how to actually process purchases. Like, it's not about what you can afford. I don't look at it that way. It's a math equation. How much money am I generating per year, and how much do I want that percentage of my income to be? So this year I'll do about 350K, and say 5% of that is 17,500. That's 5%. Let's say 10%. You know, cars are expensive now. So say anywhere from 5 to 10% of my annual gross income would go towards the purchase of a vehicle. So in that regard, if I used that range, I have a Hyundai Tucson 2022 that I acquired in 2021, and it is a lease, right? That lease is $354.17 every single month. So what's the ratio to that? In terms of the payment, right? It's not even 1% of my income, right? It's less than 1% of my income. If we're looking at affordability of just the payment. But again, I don't look at what I can afford. I just look at the ratio, what percentage of my income is being allocated to a vehicle and transportation expense. What's being allocated to that? So the MSRP, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can pull it up. So I'll go to my Hyundai. Let's log in. All right. So we're going to go Hyundai Tucson 2022. See account info. Okay, boom. So the residual value of my vehicle, the buyout, is $17,195.29. And then let me just look at my payment history real quick. Okay, $354.17. Gotcha. And that was 36 payments, right? 36 payments, 12, 24, 36 times 354.17 is $12,750.12. So $12,750.12 plus the buyout price, $17,195.29. Total cost of the vehicle is $29,945.41. Okay, so that is the cost to own this Hyundai Tucson 2022. So my lease expires in May of 2024. I acquired the car in 2021 of May. And I was only paying $354.17, no money down, right? Never put money down on a lease. I learned that. So no money down. And the lease payment was roughly, I think it was like 1.2 1.2 or 1.3 of the MSRP of the vehicle, right? So 30,000 is, so you can round it up. What's that? Less than 10%. 350K times, what is it, 9? It's like 8%. So it's like 8.5% of my annual gross income went towards the purchase of the vehicle. I could afford a Mercedes. I could afford a BMW. I could afford a Lexus. I could afford an Audi. So that's why I don't look at what I can afford, because that's a trap. That's a cultural trap. Here's what you can afford. That's a cultural trap. Don't fall for that. Don't process purchases based on what you can afford. Base it off a simple percentage. How much of my annual gross income do I actually want to allocate to this expense? When it comes to clothes, shoes, things that I wear, it's less than 1% of my income. So if I was to look, 350 grand times 1%, I really don't think I spent more than $5,000 this year on clothes. Like nowhere near it. I really don't. Okay? If anything, a good amount of that was purchasing clothes for my fiance. All right? Like a good amount of that went towards I buy her this, I buy her that. You know, that's another trap for the men. You don't want to fall for this, especially if you're a young guy, okay? Or even an older gentleman, right? Well, once it's your wife, you're screwed, right? You don't have an option. But in the beginning, like when you're first starting out and you're young, you're dating, whatever it is, or however old you are, don't fall for the trap of buying a woman so many different things. Like, don't fall for that trap. You don't need to do that to impress a kingdom woman, right? And that's another strategy I would educate my heirs, if I have a son or daughter, right? Is, hey, don't flash your wealth. No need to impress by buying them things that they probably won't even appreciate because they don't even like you that much yet. When they fall in love with you, then the appreciation of any gift you give them, any gift, massively increases. So don't fall for the trap, what you see on the internet, of the whole, what do you bring to the table question, right? Because if you're a kingdom man or a kingdom woman, we don't have to play in that game of who brings what to the table, 50-50 split of the bill. Oh, you got to buy me clothes, watches, ... to get me. Like, you don't got to play that game when you're a kingdom man and kingdom woman. So for the young folks that do watch this channel, and you're not married yet, but maybe you have a girlfriend, or maybe you're dating someone, right? Reserve that money, bruh. Reserve it. Pay for the dinner. That's a respectful thing to do as a man. Pay for the dinner in full, right? Or at least offer. Because, there's a lot of independent women today that want to pay the bills and stuff. So, make the offer. As long as you make the offer first, and then the lady goes, no, I would like to pay half of the bill, or I would like to pay the whole bill because I really enjoyed this date. And I would like another one, and you can cover that next one, right? That's a good girl, right? So from a cultural standpoint, especially in the dating, that's another place that we can recapture plenty of wealth. Plenty. You don't have to play that game. Buy her this, buy her that, buy her this. That's a load of crap, right? No need to do that. So, and then also, how much of percentage of my income do I want to allocate to that relationship? Not what can I afford, what restaurant can I afford to take her to? I don't even process it that way. I look at what percentage of my income am I allocating to this woman that I would like to date, right? In the beginning, the number should be low. And then as you build trust and you build a relationship, then you increase it, right? And then once you fall in love, do you? I don't have rules for that yet. I'm not going to speak like I know, because I myself, I put a lot of money towards the woman I care about, the woman I love, the woman I'm going to marry. I put some good money into that. Good money. Because she also put good money towards me. So I matched that energy. She want to put something towards me, boom, I go. I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. So she want to do something, right? I want to dump more. Here, boom, serve. I want to serve you, boom, boom, boom. But you do that still within context of a percentage of your annual gross income. Always keep the percentages. This is a good culture, I think, to adopt. I don't know anyone that talks about this. Is you base your life off percentages as in terms of what kind of money you allocate towards. So when it comes to relationships, develop a number, 1% of your income. When it comes to clothes, 1% of your income. When it comes to purchasing of a car, acquiring a vehicle, less than 10% of your income, preferably, right? If you can get it down to like 5%, that means you're probably getting like a used car or something to that nature, right? So in my case, boom. So what's cool about this now is how long will this Hyundai Tucson last me? It's got under 40,000 miles on it, right? Come 2024, I buy it out for 17. So I'll buy out the vehicle, right? And I would argue if I'm only driving 12,000 miles a year, 60,000 divided by 12. So, I think that's 5 years. Yeah. So this car easily could take me an additional 5 more years. And then in terms of maintenance of this vehicle, because it's a cheaper vehicle, I doubt I'll spend more than 1%, 2% of annual gross income per year on the maintenance of this vehicle for the next 5 years. So what just happened? I just recaptured 8 to 9% of my annual gross income by not getting another car. So by buying this car out and owning it, I now have 8 to 9% more of my income. Where can I spend that? For the gentleman, put it on your woman, right? Put it on wife. No, I'm just kidding. We could invest it with wife. Say, babe, this is for you, long term. But if you're where I'm at and you're doing well financially, dump it, right? Or, take a percentage. I'm just being funny at this point, right? But essentially, like, you just freed up so much cash flow, if you think about it, by deciding to own this vehicle and not trade up. Own this vehicle, drive it till the wheels fall off. In my case, I'm not going to drive it till the wheels fall off. I'm probably going to drive it till I get to 100,000 miles, right? And then I'm going to evaluate how much money I am generating 5 years from now. 5 years from now, if I'm making $4 million a year times 1%, that's $40,000 to buy a car if I use the 1% rule. If I use 2%, $4 million times 2% of my annual gross income, what could I buy for $80,000 a vehicle, cash, outright? What could I buy? Shoot, I could probably get a Range Rover with that. I could probably find a a decent Audi or Lexus, right? And that's just 2%. What if I went off the say 8.5% was my number. That's a $340,000 vehicle at $4 million a year. So if I'm generating $4 million a year, I could give myself permission to spend $340,000 on a vehicle. Now, am I going to do that? Me personally, no. I really don't desire any vehicle that costs anywhere near 340 grand. The only vehicle I desire to own is a G-Wagon or a Bronco for my future wife, right? But we both like the G-Wagons. So if I got 2 G-Wagons, it would probably equal that. So that's 2 vehicles now for 8.5% of my annual gross income at $4 million a year. So that's my path, that's my trajectory. But what's even more secure about that is the amount of time it took me to get to $4 million. How much was I profiting along the way? So not only am I generating that $4 million a year, I also have that amount in cash 2-3 times over. I could buy that vehicle 2-3 times over. No need to finance or anything like that. Just buy it out cash if I want. I like to have that option. That's building proper culture when it comes to spending and stewarding money. Proper culture, right? Who do I need to impress right now with my Hyundai Tucson 2022 or the car that I drive? I don't need to impress anybody. My entire business is online, right? And whenever I go to a business workshop, it's typically in another state, in another town far away from where I live. And so either I rent a vehicle or I just Uber everywhere, Uber, Lyft, everywhere. So I don't even need a vehicle many of the time when I'm out and about with business meetings, masterminds, workshops, seminars, conferences, that sort of thing. So my vehicle is just gonna, pick up dust while I'm gone and almost never drive it. My whole business is online. So I don't even need to, go anywhere. When I do go to expensive restaurants, I use the valet. They see my Hyundai Tucson. I don't think they're judging me. And if they are, so be it. I don't care. I tip them probably better than most of the cars that they have coming in. They're like, what? So, is this good stuff? Is this good stuff? Let's see what you guys are saying. Jackie says 14,000 for a Rolex. Yeah, I would assume that's like one of the, the cheaper ones, maybe to start out. But I know there's some real expensive ones out there. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, so we got 29 people, 27 likes. Only 2 people haven't liked the video yet. If you got value from this, like it. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. If there's no other questions, hopefully you got tremendous value from this. You can expect going into 2024 a massive amount of velocity banking case studies, infinite banking case studies, and pregame work case studies. That will be the focus content, primary content that you will expect, because that's what majority of you have told me. And please comment below, if you catch the replay, what content you would like me to produce going into 2024. And you can be very, very specific. Denzel, I want to see more velocity banking case studies with a credit card. I want to see more velocity banking case studies with a PLOC, with a HELOC, with a second lien, first lien. I need more beginner because I'm still, trying to get it going. So instead of me saying go back, watch my old videos, right? Because I do that in many of my videos. I'm like, go back, watch my old videos where it's like the starter and go to the playlist, and it grows. I think a lot of the case studies I've done the last year or two have been very advanced, and I've gotten some feedback from people that are like, oh my God, this is a lot, right? And that's typically because the income, the person is making 30 grand a month, 20,000 a month. They're making high income, high cash flow. They got $2 million of debt, $1 million. And I would know according to the stats, you know, majority of people are not there. Majority of people have $200, $300, $400, $5,000 of debt, $500,000 of debt to $250,000 to about, you know, 100. And maybe it's been a little bit difficult for you to kind of relate. So if that's the case, that's something I'm going to be more mindful of and say, okay, let me go back down. Let me show these $2,000 a month income and 3 and 4 and 5 how we build, right? Where we're going. So I'm going to close it out here. It's been wonderful spending time with you all. Appreciate you as well. Jerry says good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been an honor. Happy New Year to everyone. God bless. And we will be talking very, very soon. I've got videos already premiered with case studies. So I'm listening to you. 2024 is going to be an amazing year. God bless. Talk soon.